The legacy files take you back to the early days of reactive shooting science, honoring TPC's founder Ron Avery and presenting foundational concepts of the doctrine as originally taught.
Hi, I'm Ron Avery. Today I'd like to share with you the secrets of shooting a handgun fast and accurately. I'd also like to share with you the scientific principles behind these techniques so you can apply these principles to your shooting and learn to shoot like a pro. Let's take a look at the development of the modern shooting stance. In the 1800s, when we still had horses, we were shooting with one-handed shooting stances. In the mid-1930s, we had what became known as the S stance, or the isosceles position. The biomechanics on this one, with the body leaning back, contributed to a lot of raising of the arms under recoil. In the mid to late 1970s, Colonel Jeff Cooper developed what became known as the Weaver stance after Jack Weaver. This stance incorporated isometric tension, pushing with the strong arm and pulling with the weak arm to control recoil. In the early 1980s, shooters such as John Shaw and Rob Latham developed what became known as the modern isosceles, with both arms pushing straight out at the target. In the mid-1990s, this stance became refined by relaxing more of the body, relaxing the tension of the shoulders, relaxing the arms into what we now know as the modern isosceles. When we're faced with dangerous situations, we activate the flight or fight mechanism that is within all of us. We take a series of preparatory actions to get ready to fight or flee. This is what I call the natural action stance. In order to illustrate the natural action stance, we're going to do a simple demonstration. I'm going to use this tennis ball. We're going to play a game of catch. What I'd like you to do for me is I want you to catch this at your center line. And then I'm going to be throwing it to your left or your right, and I still want you to be able to catch it at your center line. I want you to do whatever you need to do to move quickly. Ready? Good. I'll just throw it for a couple times to let you get the hang of it. Okay, now I'm going to go left or right. You don't know what direction I'm going to go. Okay, catch it at your center line. Catch it at center. Now we're going to do a little bit quicker. Freeze. This is what I call the natural action stance. When we're preparing for rapid action or motion, the body does certain things. The feet widen just past shoulder width to create stability, and the weight shifts forward to the ball of the foot, where the power side of the foot is. The head comes forward to facilitate the shift of the center of gravity forward to the balls of the feet. Now let's take this natural action stance and let's turn it into a natural action shooting stance. Take your hands, please, and just extend them as if you were shooting the gun. What I'm going to do is apply a little bit of pressure against you and rock you back. I want you to do what you need to do to maintain your balance. Okay. He steps back a little bit with that foot and toes it outward. This acts as a little bit of a brace, a little bit of fore and aft stability. It's mostly balancing forward with just a little bit of bracing with that back leg to keep him from rocking back. If we have the knees now, they're not so dramatically bent as they were before, but they're still unlocked. We're using the skeleton to support the body weight. Now we have a natural action shooting stance that keys off the flight or fight mechanism. In order to shoot a handgun at high speed with control, I have to have stability. I have to be stable while the gun's firing. How do we achieve that? This is a red gun, non-firing replica. Does anybody mind if I point in your direction for the purposes of teaching? Can I borrow you for a sec? Eric, right? Okay. Eric, why don't you give me your shooting stance? Okay, what I'm going to do with Eric is I'm simply going to allow him to get a shooting stance, and I'm going to test it just to see if it's stable. I'm going to pretend that this is the force of recoil. I'm going to use 2 fingers and just simply push. Okay, we're back on our heels. What do you think is going to happen if we do this rapidly with that gun? going to start rising up and we're not going to be able to control it. So the first element of stability is I need to be far enough forward in my stance to balance against and offset the effect of recoil. I want to be leaning forward with my center of gravity. Second element of the stance is mobility. At close range, I want to be able to move and shoot. If I stand there while he's trying to shoot me, then it's pretty likely that we're going to have a 50-50 gunfight going on. Either he hits me or I hit him. If I start to move rapidly while drawing, while getting out of the way, while clearing myself from danger, that gives me a chance to respond. In an action shooting event, if I'm able to shoot on the move, I can save a lot of time going from position to position and also shoot my targets while on the move. So mobility is a very important factor in the stance. The third element of the shooting stance is balance. Balance is the connection between stability and mobility. If I get too much bracing going on in my stance where I really get rigid and tense and locked in, then I'm not able to move quickly and address other defensive targets while I'm shooting. Or in an action shooting event, I'm not able to move cleanly from target to target. Balance allows me to adequately offset the effects of recoil while I'm shooting, but be able to instantly move in any direction I need to move so that I can go in the direction of my choice. The fourth component of the shooting stance, natural point of aim. If I were to take my stance, either Weaver or isosceles, and I'm going to align myself with the target, if I were to take my firearm and simply close my eyes and sway my body side to side, it will come to a natural resting spot. That spot is my natural point of aim. What this allows me to do is when I draw my firearm and draw it to the target, I can bring it right to the center and it'll come right to the spot where I want to shoot without me having to make any other corrections. This allows me to shoot sooner and allows a faster first shot.
If you like the video, visit the online training page on our website or check the calendar section to sign up for our in-person courses. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.